Oh, Grady, he come down there and was hostling, and evidently sometimes, you know, while you're coaling them engines up, you coal one, then lift another back, and then coal another, and let it back. Well, by that time you was down through the switch going into the cold up track, and but what had happened, I reckon, while he was coaling them up, some tourists come up there. They evidently went down there and throwed that switch. Well, you would just normally think that it was right because all three engines were setting up in there. Well, as he eased them back, well, then when he got done coaling them up, he would pull them back up so, you know, they could go in the shop and you could look out and see the engines and stuff, you know. And but the water tank, it went through that switch. Well, it had sprung a switch, you see, because it was throwed the wrong way. It was throwed for the main line. Well, when he went to pull back up, the water tank went up the main line, and the engine was going back up in the cold up track. Oh. Got it around pretty tight there. I tormented him, asked him what was he trying to do, make a bi-geared out of it or something. But yeah, that's the first grade. That's the biggest thing I remember. Of course, he hated it. I don't know. I can't remember whether he left them set or whether he backed them back and pulled it back up there. I think he just left it set where it was. But it really never hurt her. The only thing, the water tank come up again the corner of the engine like that. You just see the prints of the rivets in the. So it never hurt nothing. I mean, never broke nothing or anything. But it was an honest mistake. I mean, it was just.
What's the furthest distance you ever ran from Cass? Running for one of the tourist trains, not
over to Elkins.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long did that trip take you?
Took you about seven to 8 hours to go through. Of course, you had to interchange crews at Durban. You know, from Chessie system that was before the West. Chessie took over Western Maryland. Then you put the Western Maryland crew on, then you went on across the mountain, then you got up there about 15, right around 15 miles out of Durban. There's a creek up there, and you stop and take water. And then they always stopped out there at the bridge, you know, at Elk River Junction, then take a couple of pictures and stuff, and then took her on into Elkins in.
Tight tunnel between here and there, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember anything about why they stopped doing the Forest Festival trips?
Insurance.
It was insurance.
Yeah. They went. I took it over in 1972 and 73. Now I'd went on the Shay a few times foreign, and but in 1977, 76 or 77 was the last year they went with it, and. But I didn't take it. I just took them 2 years. I'd just rather stay and took care of my engine over Cass. Because one time I left, and that Doc Carlson, he was over there, and he'd run on the Middle Fork. I tell you, time I got back, then I had to go through. He had hot bearings on it, and everything else. No. I'll tell you, one of them things. If you're interested in speed, don't get around one of them. You know. They'll get you there and get you back, but you gotta sit out and run it the way it's supposed to be run. You know, you set a pace. You learn to listen to your smokestack and tell you what you're doing. You know, and you take pulling one, you pulling that mountain. If you're down around 6-7 miles an hour, and then depending on the grade, sometimes it'll be slower than that.